As of now, Wilfredo "Bazooka" Gómez, one of boxing's most electrifying knockout artists, holds an estimated net worth of $2.5 million. Though not the staggering fortune of today's social media-fueled stars, it's a testament to a man who fought through poverty, fame, addiction, and illness to remain standing. His earnings come from his boxing career, TV appearances, public speaking, memorabilia royalties, and documentaries honoring his legacy. To many, he is more than a former world champion. He is Puerto Rico's battle-scarred hero, a man who turned pain into power and carved his name in the annals of boxing history. Early life. Wilfredo Gómez Rivera was born on October 29, 1956, in Las Mañas, a humble barrio in Hato Rey, San Juan, Puerto Rico. The third of 4 children, he was raised in a working-class home by his father Jacobo Gómez, a local taxi driver, and his mother Paula Rivera, a devoted homemaker. Growing up in poverty, young Wilfredo found little time for the carefree joys of childhood. He often sold candy and shined shoes to help support his family. His world was tough, loud, and full of survival instincts, qualities that would later define his style in the ring. By the age of 10, he was already known in his neighborhood not just for his fists but for his fearless spirit. Fighting wasn't a sport, it was life. Whether fending off bullies or battling adversity, Gómez was born to fight. Education was never the main focus in Gómez's life. He attended local public schools but left formal education early to pursue boxing full-time. The ring, for him, was both classroom and crucible. His teachers were his coaches, and his lessons came through bruises and blood. Personal life. Despite a public life filled with violence inside the ring, Wilfredo's personal life has been equally dramatic, marked by love, family, heartbreak, addiction, and spiritual redemption. He married Carolina Gamboa, a Venezuelan woman he met during his travels as a champion. Together, they had 4 children: Jennifer, born in Panama; Gina, Liz Irina, born in Venezuela, and Wilfredo Jr., who briefly followed in his father's boxing footsteps. In the 1980s and early 1990s, Gómez's post-championship life spiraled into darkness. Addictions to alcohol and drugs consumed him. He was arrested on several occasions and found himself alienated from friends and family. The boxing icon became a cautionary tale. But in 1998, he turned his life around by becoming a born-again Christian. He credits his faith for saving him from death and for rebuilding bridges with his children. From then on, he spoke openly about his past, even appearing at rehabilitation centers to speak to young people about avoiding the mistakes he made. Following retirement, Gómez became a boxing commentator on Puerto Rican television, Tele Once and Wapa TV, offering analysis with the same fire he once brought to the ring. He also helped train up-and-coming boxers, including Hector Camacho Jr., passing down his legendary jab and signature left hook. But perhaps his most impactful post-retirement role was as a mentor to former fighters struggling with addiction and depression, proof that champions don't always wear gloves. Professional career. The Bazooka era. Wilfredo Gómez turned professional on November 16, 1974, in Panama. Though his first fight ended in a draw, it was only a hiccup. What followed was a tsunami of destruction. Gómez went on a knockout streak rarely seen in boxing history. 32 consecutive wins by KO, many of them in the early rounds. World Championship reign. On May 21, 1977, at just 20 years old, Gómez captured the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship by knocking out South Korea's Dong Kyun-yum. It would be the start of a reign of terror. He defended the title 17 times, all by knockout, a world record across all weight classes. His style was violent elegance, pressure, combinations, and a bazooka-like left hook that could end fights instantly. Legendary fights. Versus Carlos Cerati, 1978. In what was dubbed a Battle of the Knockout Kings, Gómez dismantled the undefeated Mexican puncher in 5 rounds. It was a Puerto Rico versus Mexico classic that solidified Gómez's status as a legend. Versus Salvador Sanchez, 1981. His first major defeat. Moving up in weight, Gómez challenged the brilliant Sanchez for the featherweight crown. He was knocked out in the 8th round. The loss was devastating, but showed his willingness to face greatness. Versus Lupe Pintor, 1982. Redemption came in one of boxing's bloodiest wars. Gómez survived brutal punishment to knock Pintor out in the 14th round in a fight that remains a highlight in super bantamweight history. Versus Azuma Nelson, 1984. After winning the WBC featherweight title by defeating Juan Laporte, Gómez faced Ghanaian powerhouse Azuma Nelson. He was stopped in the 11th round in what became one of Nelson's breakout moments. Versus Rocky Lockridge, 1985. Gómez climbed to super featherweight and controversially outpointed Lockridge to win the WBA title. It was his 3rd world title in 3 weight classes, an incredible feat despite the debate. His career ended in 1989 after a brief comeback. His final record: 44 wins, 42 by knockout, 3 losses, 1 draw. That resume places him firmly in the pantheon of Puerto Rican greats alongside Felix Trinidad, Miguel Cotto, and Carlos Ortiz. Inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1995. Ranked by The Ring as the 13th greatest puncher of all time. Named by the Houston Boxing Hall of Fame as the #1 super bantamweight of all time. House tour and car collection. Gómez never lived like a modern-day sports millionaire. His homes, though comfortable, were humble and built for family, not for flash. Panama City. In the 1980s, while training and fighting across Latin America, Gómez maintained a residence in Panama, where his first daughter was born. Orlando, Florida. In the mid-2000s, Gómez moved to the U.S. mainland, purchasing a home in Orlando. It offered more peace and privacy, especially during his years of recovery. San Juan, Puerto Rico. Today, Gómez resides in a modest home in the Cupi district of San Juan, surrounded by boxing memorabilia, religious icons, and photos of his children and grandchildren. Though not a collector of luxury cars, Gómez has been seen over the years driving various models of Ford, Toyota, and once a classic Cadillac during his peak years. He never sought material wealth, but rather security and simplicity. Wilfredo Gómez did not attend college. His education came through the school of hard knocks, literally. By 15, he was representing Puerto Rico in international amateur boxing tournaments. His focus was always boxing, and the discipline, resilience, and ring IQ he developed rival any formal degree. As of today, Wilfredo Bazooka Gómez is alive. Though he has suffered serious health issues, including pneumonia, pulmonary edema, and battles with addiction, he continues to live quietly in Puerto Rico, occasionally appearing at boxing events and speaking engagements. Wilfredo Gómez was not just a champion, he was a force of nature. A man who rose from the dusty streets of San Juan to electrify arenas around the world. He fought with passion, lived through pain, and emerged with purpose. His story is one of redemption. From teenage prodigy to global icon, from addiction to faith, from superstardom to solitude, Wilfredo Gómez's life is a reminder that greatness isn't just measured in belts, but in the battles we fight outside the spotlight. He gave Puerto Rico a hero. He gave boxing a legend. And he gave the world proof that even bazookas can find peace.